What's up, YouTube? Tenchi Arizonia, the angry Dracolope of the Dracolope crew here, and this video is a follow-up from my last video posted on Thursday about me making a leather sheath for my tops Tibo. Well, if you saw that video, you will see that I kind of eyeballed cutting the leather. I didn't measure it or anything like that. Well, that turned out to be a colossal fuck up on my part. So let me explain. And as per usual, if I'm going to explain anything, I'd best start from the beginning. So back on Thursday afternoon, before I actually started doing the leather work, I decided that I was going to record it. Well, this is where my fuck up starts. Not because I recorded it, or because I used my action camera, because the footage actually came out relatively nice. The problem was I didn't have a straight edge, so I couldn't measure my piece of leather that I was going to cut. And I couldn't keep the cuts straight. Now, they looked relatively straight in the footage, and even looking at the cuts, they did look relatively straight. However, they weren't. They were not even remotely straight. One edge was, two edges of the leather were straight, the other two were not. So, when I folded the piece of leather to make the sheath, because as I said, I was going to do the sheath tackle style, like you do with kydex, well, I came across a problem in that two of the edges, well, not two of the edges, one of the edges and one of the ends were completely uneven. So I had two options. I could try and trim it, or I could just scrap it. Now, foolishly, I tried to trim it, and I made the issue much worse. So at that point I was completely fucked. I had to scrap the progress I had made, and I'd already started punching holes for the stitching at that point when I noticed it was not going to match up at all. So at that point I scrapped it, threw the piece of leather to one side because it was never going to work as a sheath. Then I went out for a walk. And while I was out for a walk, I got some things that could help me in the future. Although three of these things I already had in my toolbox, I just didn't think to use them. And honestly, if I did use them, they would have marked up my work. So that might give you a bit of an idea of what they are. Anyway, long story short, I fucked up my first attempt at a sheath, so I'm going to have to redo it. And for those of you who said a pocket sheath sounds like a good idea, that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be making a pocket sheath for my tops Tibo. I've decided that given the size of this knife, it is not worth making a belt sheath. I could make a neck sheath, but neck sheath or pocket sheath is going to be pretty much the same. There's only going to be a little step extra to make a neck sheath, which is to make a small loop of leather. It doesn't need to be anywhere near the size of a full belt loop, so I can do a neck sheath or a pocket sheath. I might try both, but for the time being, for the first one, I am going to be making a pocket sheath. Anyway, that's all for this video. There is going to be a second one today. It'll be posted pretty soon after this one, if not immediately after this one, or it'll be posted tomorrow. More than likely though, given the time now, which is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the second video will more than likely be posted today. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, that's enough on that topic. This is usually the point where I would pimp out my channel stickers. I'm not going to be doing that on this video. I might do it on the next video, but not this one. So, as usual, that's all for now. If you like it, please subscribe, comment, and share. And remember, be good to each other.